Hi guys. I guess essentially this is a coming out video. Um, I this is different for me, so please bear with me. I came out officially today. Yeah, like to make it like really official, today was the day that I came out and I told people that I'm a lesbian. Like, my friends. I told people that, like, now I'm a lesbian because it has changed in the past. Um, in sixth grade, I told people I was a lesbian, and then when I didn't get the response that I wanted from the people that I loved, like friends, I would never tell my mom that, especially in sixth grade, because sixth grade was that time where I was just like, yeah, church, school, and friends. Like, that's what you're supposed to be thinking about. And especially in a religious household with your, like, really Christian mom and, your dad who wasn't really around but who is like also a very strict Christian. I'm a daddy's girl, and so that I just like, okay, school, I need to think about like important stuff right now. And when I told my friends that I was a lesbian, I didn't get really like the feedback that I wanted. Probably 2 weeks later, I was like, yeah, guys, I was totally kidding. It was a joke. What are you talking about? Because I thought I would get support. And it was just, it's just not what I wanted. That's a good way to say it. And I think I just left that alone until eighth grade when I told I moved schools and I told people in middle school that, hey, I'm bisexual. And they're like, okay, like, I don't, it's weird, whatever. So, that was a weird time for me. And then being bisexual got strange, and everyone was like, oh yeah, I'm a bisexual, yeah. That went on through freshman year, and I was like, yeah, I'm just like here. People forgot that I was bisexual, and like when I would say, yeah, that girl's pretty, or I think I like someone, people would be like, are you like a lesbian? What's going on? Which is understandable, and I got that feedback, which was, and I was just like, no, I'm just a bisexual. I like boys. I like both, and it was a weird time for me. And then into freshman year, around seventh and eighth grade, I met my best friend, Kyle. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. He makes me smile when I'm down. And recently he left for college. And I say this with all the joy in my heart, but at the same time, I miss him so. I could like feel the tears. I miss him so much. Like when I have a problem or when he has a problem, I know he's always a phone call away, but it's different than walking down the street and saying, hey, I miss you, and talking about it and stuff. So, I mean, it's not bad that I miss him. Anyway, Kyle is gay. I hope he doesn't have a problem with me saying that. But it's really kind of essential to my coming out story because if he hadn't told me about like all the stuff that he's been through and how he had to tell his mom, and it was just like, if I don't tell my mom who I am, she'll never understand. Like, she won't get me. And I totally understood that. Like, when he was saying, I was like, yeah, I can't bring girlfriends over and all that good stuff. And I mean, even after I came out, it's not like I could bring a girlfriend over anyways. So it was just that weird double standard that that I had in my house after I came out. And Kyle is so great. He's so great. I remember the night that I came out to my mom, I was standing outside of my door with the house phone. I had the house phone in my hands, and I called my sister. And I was like, Marie. And it's like 9 or 10 o'clock, and she had to work in the morning, so she was asleep. And she's like, what? And I was like, did I wake you? And she's like, yeah, what do you want? Like, she was like getting angry with me, and I'm just like, I'm in tears. I'm like, no, please don't be mad. I just wanted to tell you before I told mom. And she was like, what? Just tell me. And I was like, okay, I am a bisexual, and I totally bailed my plan to tell them that I was a lesbian, and it was just, well, it was retarded. Oh, that was all. No, that was not what I meant to say. It was stupid. That was offensive. And I totally bailed my plan, and it was just sad, but at least I was on the right track. Kyle also thought that I was a bisexual at the time. I thought I was a bisexual at the time, but I mean, I kind of knew. Like, don't we all just know? And I bailed my plan, and I was like, she was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And she's like, "Thanks for calling me, and I love you, and I hope it goes well." And I hung up, and Kyle was standing there with me the whole time, and he was like, it's time to go inside. And I was freaking out, like, my mom does not need to know. And so I went inside. We sat there in silence for about 5 minutes, which was so awkward. She was watching some orchestra thing on PBS. I'm just like, what the fuck are we watching? And I was just like, okay, now's the time. With my tear-covered face, she didn't ask questions, which I thought was weird, and maybe she already knew what was coming. And I grabbed Kyle's hand. Kyle went in there with me, and I think that was one of the moves that I did wrong. Like, my mom later asked me, she's like, why couldn't we have this conversation by ourselves? Why couldn't we talk it out together without Kyle there? And I never really thought about it. I just needed him there. I wouldn't have told her without him there. And so he held my hand throughout the whole thing, and this is exactly what I said. I said, Mom, and she's like, she like looked at me, I'm like, Mom, I'm a bisexual. And she's like, what does that mean? My mom's from Haiti, so she has this weird accent, and sometimes like the things that I say doesn't really make sense to her. And she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I'm quote I'm in between sexualities, unquote. And she's like, And then she turns back to her orchestra thing on GPB, like I hadn't said anything to her. And I was like, Mom, how does that make you feel? And she was like, I want to know why. And that was the hardest question I've ever gotten in my entire life. Why are you the way you are? And I didn't have an answer. I said, because this is who I am. And I don't have a problem with it, and neither should you. Kyle doesn't have a problem with it, and Marie doesn't have a problem with it. And she looked at me, she's like she didn't say anything, but I know she was thinking, oh, she told Marie before she told me. And I felt like I had gone about it all wrong. And I cried. I sat there and I cried. And my mom didn't really just say anything at all. And then Kyle went home. I had a talk with him before he left, and he's like, it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be better when I'm gone. And when I went back inside the house, I heard her crying in her bedroom, and it was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. It is awful to hear your mother cry. And she called her sister, who's actually calling right now. She called her sister, my aunt and godmother, and she's like, I don't know what I did wrong. I tried to show her the Bible. I loved her, and I felt like a complete and total shithead for being so stupid and not... I shouldn't have told her. That's what I felt. I felt like, no, she doesn't need to know. And that's what I feel like right now. How is she going to take me being lesbian? Apart from bisexual, where I could, like, be with a girl or boy. Now I don't even want guys. Like, she's going to freak out. And so I am just... I don't know what to do. So... she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks after I came out to her. She told me that I loved Kyle so much that I was trying to be like him, impress him with the fact that I was bisexual. And it killed me every day to know that first of all, she didn't believe me. Second of all, that even if she did, she wouldn't accept it. It was really hard for me to accept, like, myself. Like, I didn't know what to do or what to say to her. It was really difficult. So my dad doesn't even want any part of it, so that's just... I honestly, I'm not gonna tell him until probably my wedding day. And I invite him to my wedding, and then he comes down and he sees that I'm not getting married to a man. I'm getting married to a woman. I know that sounds awful, like the worst way to come out. But if he sees that I'm happy, like I said, I'm daddy's little girl. And if he sees that I'm happy, I'm sure that won't be much of an issue. My dad has to walk me down the aisle. And if he refuses, then... oh well. I'm going to be happy with or without them. But I would preferably like them there. My sister, cousins, family has accepted it, except for them. I doubt my grandmother would accept it, though. You know how, like, old people are. It's very difficult to accept things like that. So I don't blame her. That's just the way she was brought up. But my family, they've been through... you've seen stuff like this. Like, my cousin's gay. Kyle's gay. Everything's happened already. Why is it such a big deal? Why is it such a shock that I am? Can you guys... are you a lesbian or gay or anything? Can you leave me a video response or a comment telling me about your whole freaking coming out story like mine? And tell me, what should I do about telling them that I'm a lesbian? Because I guess my coming out story isn't really completely finished until I completely, totally come out. Hopefully this will happen soon. Thanks for listening, if you stayed this long. All right. Thanks. Bye. Mwah.